Bismillah Rahman Rahim. My name is Jalal Ahmad, and in this tutorial we are going to learn about the transition of CSS3 transition. So let me first tell you that what does transition means. So we can take some properties of some elements and add some transition effects and make it slowly changeable into another value of the same property. So this is a little weird in this stage, and we will be learning it nicely when we move towards the example. Okay, so watch this tutorial up to last and you will enjoy, I hope that. So this is the browser support for transition property, and you can use transition property in these browsers, and with some prefixes are given in here. So let me first tell you that transition property is a combination of these four properties. So these four properties combines, and this transition property is a shorthand for these four properties. Let me move towards the example. This is my page source code, that is the HTML, and in head tag there is a title CSS3 sorry, this is not 3D, CSS3 transitions, and the 3D was left just in the previous tutorials, and I'm sorry for that. So we will be styling it in here in the head tag, and let me take a div and let me style it in here. So I would like to decrease the font size a little. Okay, so div, I will style it first. Let me take width as 100 pixels and height as 100 pixels as well, and background equal to red. Let me show you, refresh, and you can see. So we will be adding this effect and div hover. Okay, transition, first we will use transition property. Let me make changes to width first, and this becomes a property, transition property, and now I will mention transition duration, that is, let me add 1 second, it's fine. Let me show you what happens. It's not workable now. So now I would like to change the width, because I have mentioned width, so I can change width in here. Okay, now width is equal to, let me give it a different value other than 100, and let me make it as 100%. Okay, so this 100 pixels only, and this means that 100 pixels, 100% of the body. Okay, let me show you. I save it, and now hover. You can see it takes one time. In transition duration is 1 second, and you can see when I hover it gets 100% of the width in 1 second. Similarly, I can use the transition timing function. So I can assign here some different values, that is, ease is by default. You can see same as the effect. Ease means that let me increase the function, the time, the duration in here, and now you can see it starts slowly, then in the middle it becomes faster, and then at last at the end it ends slowly. So this is because of ease, and ease is by default, it is the default value. We can also use ease in, which means slow start, that is, you can see slow start, and then You can see that ease out means slow end, and ease in out means a slow end and a slow start. Similarly, we can use linear, which means same speed throughout the transition effect. You can see that it is having the same speed throughout the transition effect. You can see same start, same middle speed, and same end speed. So we can add here a delay, transition delay, which takes a value in seconds, and let me mention it here as 4 seconds. Okay, so I will hover and it will not be moving for 4 seconds, and now it is starting. After 4 seconds the transition effect started accordingly. Okay, now it's not moving for 4 seconds, and you can see transition effect backs towards its position, to its original position, after 4 seconds delay time. So we can all let me tell you one thing, that I can use more than one property, and this means that width and height are changeable now. And 5 seconds, if I use 5 seconds only one value, it means that apply these 5 seconds to all of the values above, to all of the properties. So I can use here 5 seconds and 3 seconds as well, and I can use here a 5 second a single value as well. Similar is the case with this one and this one. Okay, if you use single value, then it applies to single values in here, then it applies to all of the properties which you are mentioning which you mention it in here, mention in here. Sorry for that. Okay, so let me show you that how can we use multiple properties 100%. Okay, let me show you. I will hover this div and it will increase its width 100% and its height 100% as well. Let me hover, it waits for 4 seconds and then it takes 5 seconds and increase its width and height. Okay, now let me use the properties. If I use here two properties, that is 1 second for the height, then 1 second for height and 5 seconds for width. Let me show you. 4 seconds delay and takes 1 second for the height and 5 seconds for the width. What happened? Let me refresh. Okay, so this is the story of using these properties separately, and now let me use these properties in shorthand form, that is transition equal to first I will define the property, and then the duration, transition duration, and then the timing function, transition timing function, that is, let me use linear, and then I can use a delay of for 2 seconds. Let me show you. Hover it. Oh, sorry, what happened? Width 2 seconds, linear 2 seconds. Let me remove it first. It's waiting and you can see there. So that was just because of there is no transition, there is no height mentioned in here, so I will use height. We can use multiple transition effect like that. Write a comma and then same as you do for the first one. Okay, now the height and 2 seconds I can use different values, that is 4 seconds and ease, and let me make a different value, that is 1 second is fine. Okay, let me hover the div and you can see it takes its values differently. Okay, you can also use the transform effect, like if I use here the transform, that is a 3D CSS3 values, and let me first mention the transform as rotate Z, and I use 0 degree, and I would like to now remove this one and write here transform equal to, that is rotate Z, and it becomes 360 degree. So we will rotate up to 360 degree in 4 seconds of time, and first it will take a delay of 1 second, and let me finish this delay and show you. So you can notice that. Okay, it takes towards its position back, and let me make a delay of 2 seconds now, so you will see. It will take a delay, and it gets back towards its position. So that was the story of CSS3 transition, and hope you have enjoyed the tutorial. Of course it was long, but I hope that you have learned something with me, something with this tutorial. If you like my tutorial, please rate, comment and subscribe my channel for other videos, and thank you for now.